All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Thursday, September 18th edition of the Somerville Urban Forestry Committee. And pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Act of 2025, this meeting will be held remotely. And today we have somebody taking notes, or taking minutes, rather.
Me.
Marion's taking minutes. Thank you so much. And we will start with committee member introductions. And before we do that, typically in our meetings, in order to support a more inclusive environment and inclusive and friendly, we invite anyone who's joining the meeting to be promoted to a panelist. So Vanessa will prompt you and you're welcome to join as a panelist, which means you can share your face with us and you can unmute and say hello should you desire to, but it's absolutely not required. And while Vanessa does that, I think we'll go around and everyone on the committee will introduce themselves. And we'll go in alphabetical order. So yeah, Allison, I think you're first.
Hi, I'm Allie Bernard. I'm an associate member of this committee, and I'm a tree enthusiast and a certified tree keeper.
I can't see everybody's name, so I think I'm next in line. I'm David Jackson. I'm the tree warden for Somerville, and urban forestry committee member. Been with the city for a couple months now, so still learning the ropes, but enjoying my time here and looking forward to being here for a while.
I think I'm next. My name is Leah Grossman. I am one of the co-chairs of the committee, and I'm a landscape architect practicing in Boston.
Am I next? I'm Marion. I'm a member of the committee and a tree enthusiast.
Hello, my name is Michael Hendricks. I am a tree enthusiast, a recent co-chair of the committee.
Hi, I'm Tori Antonino. I am an ecological landscaper and asters are now blooming, which are beautiful and sad all at the same time. If you're a summer lover.
Isn't me. I'm Vanessa Bukili, Senior Urban Forestry and Landscape Planner for the city. Excited for some nice fall weather.
I think
I had some Zoom problems, so I had to restart. So I think I missed my name in the alphabet. I'm Joelle, a relatively new member and tree enthusiast.
And Suzanne, feel free to chime in as your first meeting as a committee member.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know if we were doing first name or last name alphabetical, but I'm Suzanne Warner, and this is my first meeting as a part of the committee, and I'm a landscape designer in Boston.
And I'm Rob Van Den Abeel. I'm an associate member of the committee, and I guess just an ecology enthusiast, and trees are among the many aspects of nature and the ecosystem that I'm excited to be part of and to learn more about.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Any other housekeeping items before we jump into resident concerns?
Just quickly, we do have one fewer youth member than we need since our CAL's last meeting was last month. So I will be advertising that soon. I'll share the advertisement with you all in case you have any youth aged folks interested. And then we'll probably next month we can talk about the interview committee.
Vanessa, could you remind me or ask what's the what age is what's the age range? Is it 14?
I feel like it's 14 to 17.
Okay.
So if you send that around, we can distribute it out to the world. Also nicely aligns with the beginning of school. So hopefully that means all the go-getters and enthusiastic youth will be ready to apply. Get it in before their college applications go out. All right, so now we'll open it up to resident concerns. And this is also a moment, anyone who is joining as a resident, you're invited to unmute yourself and say hello. And we have a few folks, so I saw Anne's hand. So Anne, do you wanna say hello? Oh, and I think you're muted.
I am. My name's Anne Ryan, and I live at Copple Hill, and I would like, if it's possible, to show you some work I've been doing about the trees, and also in light of plans that the Somerville Redevelopment Authority has.
Just gave privileges to present to multiple people. So if you want to
Oh, I can do it
share
now?
your screen.
Great, okay. This is a map, not particularly good, but it for my purposes. I added greens. It was missing indication of a group of 14 trees that are the subject of the issue. The city of Somerville now owns, can you see my cursor? And all this is now
Yes.
owned by the city of Somerville, including this parking lot. And the Somerville Redevelopment Authority is saying that they would like to fence off this entire area in December. I'd just like to point out the pathway here, which is an asphalt pathway from Washington Street into the parking area, but it's also wonderfully, you don't have to go all the way down to the main entrance and then walk back to 84. And the new bus stop is really fabulous. I come back from Market Basket with my suitcase full of groceries, and I can easily get off the bus, down a ramp, and walk down this pathway and into the back door of my building. So this has considerable personal impact. But I wanted to show you, this is a view of the pathway. That gives you a sense of walking up it, and there are 3 trees there that are very significant. That being one of them. It's a sycamore or a London plane tree. And this is a view of the berm from Washington Street and the beginning of a row of pine trees, 24 pine trees that runs north south along this line. That's this cluster 3 right here. And then over here are the 10 trees that run along Washington Street. So all of that would be fenced off. It is now owned by the city. And the Somerville Redevelopment Authority wants the Corcoran Jennison to move the parking space over here. And this is a green space with trees in it. And I can give you a sense of it very quickly. This is 84 Washington right here. And this is where the new parking space is proposed. I, very briefly, I have measured these, I've measured all of these trees. So I know their circumference and I've calculated their value. I will tell you about it. Their value in terms, it's a real estate figure basically, which is what it would cost to replace them. It's a pretty staggering amount. But the trees that are currently might have to start being removed in December are not in particularly good shape. And these are the three in the middle. And I have not had time. I've measured them, but I haven't calculated them yet because I also haven't identified what they are. So without the identification, you can't do it. I apologize for that, but I was expecting another week before urban forestry met. So I don't have all the data about replacement. I do know that this tree, which I think is a black walnut, would be valued at $189,000 replacement value. And the totals for cluster 2 and cluster 3 and cluster 1, the entrance on the pathway for those is replacement value, according to the New England tree law, would be $5,247,795. I, in many ways, don't think that's as significant as another app I found called iTree, which provides values. If I can get this, I can't enlarge it. I'm very sorry. I just took a screenshot of the app and I can't, let me see if I can. No, I can't. Something else. They provide, they put dollar values on the productive values of what trees do, and they do it tree by tree. If anyone here on the committee would be willing to help me understand both what they kind of think about this evaluation process and how I might use it, particularly with the white pines, the 24 white pines and the 14 white pines, I would be very grateful because I would like to, the productive value to me is much more important. It won't be in the $5 million category, but it's much more important to have a sense of the contribution that these trees are making, particularly for the Somerville Redevelopment Authority. This is the chart, how I used to calculate what I was doing. I didn't have to, when I found this New England tree law, if you provide the circumference, they do the rest. But I initially was doing that. And I'll stop there. I don't want to take too long. If you have any questions, please.
Yeah, Vanessa.
Thanks for doing that, Anne, and it's awesome that you went and measured them. We do have some of those trees in our tree inventory too, in the new version that's not publicly available yet, but it's nice to see that and also know where they're thinking about doing the parking lot. I think possibly you might be putting in the values in a different unit than is standard, because like our whole inventory of 14,000 trees is like $1 million.
Wow. Okay.
So I think maybe your basal area is in some other unit
Okay.
for the total.
All right.
I do also, I like iTree a lot. It's well used and well researched. So I think that's a good platform to look at. The numbers you get there should be reliable. I've always found them to be disappointing,
Yes.
like a 2-inch tree isn't providing very many dollars worth of ecosystem service benefits per year. But it's still useful information to have.
Yeah.
One thing you can also think about of replacement value. What we use standardly with the city is $600 per caliper inch. So,
And is
I
a
think
caliper inch already a calculation of its density? In other words, it's
no, it's the
circumference?
it's not the circumference, it's the diameter. So you
Right,
do some
the
math to the
diameter. Yeah,
circumference and it's
yeah.
in inches. So probably the bigger tree you showed in that cluster of 3 maybe was 15 or 20 maximum inches diameter. So based on that,
I ended up, it was hard to do. I found it hard to do. I started using kite string and cutting it and just then going back and using a tape measure to see how long it was.
yeah.
But then I had, a friend came and we did all of these trees, all 24,
Okay.
using the tape measure. They're 60 inches around. I mean,
I don't think that's right. Or maybe 60 inches in circumference, but then
yes.
that's not the diameter. Would
Okay.
be less.
So all right, so I'm not, I was following, these were the instructions that I was following. These were summary tree table, tree caliper, but obviously I could have gotten it wrong.
I can't see. A tree caliper is like an actual device
bought one.
that calculates it.
I bought
Measure
one
it.
and it was
Oh,
it
great.
was
Okay.
inexpensive and too small.
Okay, bummer. So that the caliper, Malik has some. I've never actually seen them for the tree, but it's like a big thing that adjusts size.
Yes, yes.
And so that would give you diameter directly instead of circumference, but you can definitely
Okay.
use circumference measurements to get diameter out. But like a 60-inch around circumference would be about 20 inches diameter.
Huh.
19.1.
Okay, so I'm way off. Okay.
But having the circumference is a great place to start, and you can just do
Okay.
some math on it. It's
yeah, I divided by pi, but I guess
it's yeah. I forget now. 2 pi r or something. What is
yes,
it?
yes.
Yeah, you divide by pi.
But I was supposed to square it before I divided it by pi. But apparently I did something wrong there.
Basal area is a different metric than circumference, so you might be measuring at just a different measure of
Okay.
a tree.
I did 4.5 feet up.
That's good. Great. That's typical place.
Okay.
So
All right, so
yeah.
I have to go back over and find out what I did wrong so that I have a better estimate of what
Yeah,
their
it looks like
value is.
you took some good notes, so if you want, I can have a meeting with you
Okay,
separately to try to
great.
figure out
Okay.
where the challenges are.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Not that I don't want them to be worth $5 million because I do.
I would too, but I don't think that's right.
Okay.
And I think
Yeah, I'm doing like a really quick calculation on the eye tree of a white pine. That's like maybe, 20 diameter inches. And that comes out to a little over 1,000, like
Okay.
1377.
1377 times.
Is that annually? That's annual or?
That is the expected benefit over 20 years.
Okay.
These are 40 years old.
Wait,
So
what
we
did you
could-
what
Well,
did
it
you say
takes
the
the
number
size
was,
of it.
Allie?
What? I did
What?
the eye tree. I just
Yeah,
did
what did you say? What did you say the 20-year value was?
1377. So a little over $1,000. So to Vanessa's point, like it sounds disappointing when you
Yes, it is.
calculate the value.
Right.
But I think it's truly taking like, how much does it reduce the energy cost of the building it's near? You know, things like that. It tries to be like tangible benefits.
Okay.
Like the carbon dioxide uptake is about $600 of that. The stormwater mitigation is $100 of that. And then the air pollution removal is $700 of that.
Of the $1,000 value.
Yeah, of the
Oh, okay.
$1,300
So
value.
so this is good. All right. No, this is well, that's much better. That's not replacement cost. That's productive value, right? Over 20 years.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
amount that's
I'm happy with that. It's I mean, I wish it, again, of course I wish it were more, but already the fact that you can actually put some dollars on it, it seems to me, particularly with the Somerville Redevelopment Authority, is pretty important.
I do just want to say that that number seems embarrassingly low for not for just because I think again those calculations are so anthropocentric, to use one of Vanessa's favorite words,
Right?
because it's not calculating any ecological value and
Yeah.
the value of pollinators and the value of the creatures who live there and the enjoyment it brings and the love you feel and the stress benefits. So just want to like, it's a number, but it's a number based on a very, very small set of metrics, you know?
Yep.
So, but good that there's someone who's you know, that good that there is a number,
Yes.
but I would
And if this is a 20-year value, couldn't I double it for 40 years? Which is what it's
I
been
think
doing?
that's like 20 years going forward. So because it's already this size, the next 20 years would provide this much benefit. If you had
Okay.
another tree that was twice as big, you know, you might get a different answer.
Okay. Got
And then
it.
you can add them all together for, you know, the 24 and 14 white pines you've got and et cetera. You
Okay.
can actually do it with this calculator using the circumference or the diameter. So if it's easier for you to just take your circumference, you could do that. And then you could also measure it with, Vanessa, is it easy to convert it to a caliper if you know the circumference?
yeah.
So
Yes.
does anyone know?
Well, caliper we just is
Divide by
basically
pi.
DBH. So it's
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it's saying, okay.
for a
And
tree this size.
unfortunately, the caliper, I bought a little from Forest something, and it was $5, and I bought it, and it's, I mean, I could go out on Washington Street and do the trees there, but because they're all brand new, but it was useless for what I was doing.
Any other questions? I want to be mindful of time, but I'm also curious. I know, Vanessa, we got a presentation when the old iteration of this design was being proposed. Is it possible to request a similar sort of update on this smaller project? Because I think Anne's brought a lot of really awesome information and data and updates to our group, and I feel like we are or I'll say personally, I'm in support of trying to help preserve these, you know, the trees that we think hold value regardless of what that dollar amount is. But I'm curious how we as a committee can help advocate for this space and these trees. And if that's a matter of getting the redevelopment authority to present a sort of update to us or understanding what, you know, do we have any purview or do we not because it's a private, you know, property? I'm trying to figure out sort
Well,
of
but the
high-level-
city now owns this.
Right,
this-
okay, so the city
yeah.
owns that, but does it own the cluster 5, 6, 7 area as
No,
well?
it
where they're-
doesn't. No.
Okay. So that area 5, 6, 7 is where they're planning to put the parking lot, and that's on private property.
Correct.
But since those trees are large enough, wouldn't those need a permit as well?
Any that are over 8 inches, 8 inches or more would require it. I'm just gonna
Okay.
share my screen for a quick second.
I'll stop sharing.
That's okay.
Unless you
Take
need,
it.
you
I'm
don't
stealing
need
it.
this.
I know, it's okay. Share. I think that's sharing the right screen. Are you seeing a near map image?
Yes.
Okay, so I think that this is 90 Washington, so all of this should be city owned, which includes that cluster 5, 6, 7 you were showing. And so I don't know how they would put a parking lot there. And this is also an image of our tree inventory. So the diamond shapes is our new tree inventory layer. Let me just turn the old ones off. So this, the public can't see yet, but we do have all the trees in the front and that back area inventoried. So we have information about the species and size. So, and if you know
I
specifically,
can't see your screen. I wish
Oh.
I could. I can
can
only,
anyone else see what I thought I was
I
sharing
can
my
see
full
it
window.
okay.
I can see it.
okay,
Maybe, yeah, maybe you need to hit the stop share button, Anne.
there, maybe that, yes.
Okay,
I can,
gotcha. So just flipping back, I think this whole area here outlined is city owned now. And we have a
no, I
tree
still
inventory
can't
for all
see it.
that.
What should I be hitting that I'm not hitting?
Do you see all of our faces?
I do, yes.
If you look at the top of your screen, there's a little bar that says Vanessa Bukili's screen. If you try to click that.
All I see is Vanessa. I don't see her screen.
Maybe here. Oh, you can't see that because never mind.
Yeah, at the very, very top of your screen, I actually accidentally got myself out of your screen share too, but it should say webinar on one tab and then Vanessa Peely's screen on the other.
Ah, yes. Now I can do it. Thank you very much. I'm there.
Okay, great. So yeah, all the green dots here are our new
Yes.
inventory trees. So I think that it
Oh, wow,
covers
good.
what you have looked at also, so we can
Yeah.
compare that way and or
I
use this
haven't done this
information.
back area. I haven't done this back area yet.
Okay, well, we have information about it. I don't
Wow,
know about
okay.
this plan, what they're proposing or exactly where, so I don't know how to use this to be helpful, but I don't know who to talk to, but if it's, yeah, I can ask for an update. I just don't know right now offhand who to ask.
Miles Byrne of Corcoran Jennison has been talking to the Somerville Redevelopment Authority. So that's
Okay.
one conversation because that's
Okay.
management.
Then I know who
there-
to ask. That helps me. I'll ask
Okay.
someone at the OSPCD team who works with the redevelopment authority.
Okay.
This makes me wonder, Vanessa, has there ever been an instance of the committee when they had awareness of like a possibility or the likelihood of trees coming down to like send a letter, essentially like reminding the would-be tree choppers down about like requirements? I know there's been a couple instances where people chop down trees without a permit and we're kind of learning about it after the fact. Could we send like proactive notifications just to make sure folks involved in this are like going through the channels beforehand?
We have, Malik has cold called people when there was that
Great.
possibility. So it has been done. I think, I mentioned this at our last meeting, but there was an internal meeting about the process that would have to be done if there was a new impervious surface or parking lot built. So I reminded that person that we have the tree preservation ordinance and any trees over 8 inches would have to get a permit before they're removed. So I think the reminder is there. I don't know that that's going to stop anyone, but I will remind them and see what if there are any plans, I'll ask what they are. It could just be like beginning of plan stages and not firm plans yet. I don't know.
One follow-up question. If this was the city doing the project, is the city subject to its own requirements about, like, I know it wouldn't necessarily pay a fine to itself, but are they like replacement, or if it's the city doing it, is it, yeah.
If we do it on our city land, there's the street trees, we're subject to the public shade tree hearing. I don't think these ones would be street trees, which would mean it would fall in the city-owned properties category of the tree preservation ordinance, in which case there has to be a meeting prior to the removal of any tree, and that includes trees 2 inches and above. So there has to be a meeting about the potential removal and or a tree hearing. It can be like an official tree hearing, or we've had meetings about that here in UFC. So something would have to happen. But I don't
Thanks.
think we're removing, well, I don't know. I only know what I know, but I haven't heard anything about us removing trees on our property here yet. People have learned pretty well to tell me, mostly.
Do you know if the irrigation system has been shut off by the city on this part of trees? Cobble Hill has an irrigation system, and these trees are irrigated, is everything here, all along here as well. It makes a big difference.
I don't know. I don't know.
I would hope that these are still getting some water, as well as these, now that the city owns.
I don't know.
Could I
Many
ask
trees,
someone?
when trees are established and big, they don't typically
Need as
need
much?
irrigation. They find their own source
Yeah,
for the most part.
okay.
Sorry, did
I
you?
don't see it working on the berm anymore either.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so who is the city councilor you're working with on this?
I would say, well, we have to work with, I'm I'm blanking on
It-
all the names.
So what I'm thinking is
Ward 1,
Ward-
the Ward 1,
so Matt McLaughlin.
yes.
So I guess what I'm thinking is I think this probably needs to either go to like one of the Somerville, like one of the city council committees. Like I think it seems to me of importance that if the city of Somerville is forcing Corcoran Jennison to build a parking lot that will remove green space and cutting off a parking lot that includes an access space to, the
Washington
bus
Street, yeah,
stop
yeah.
is, I want to support you however we can, but I think we need to bring in some bigger guns.
Oh, for sure.
So
It's got to be in much better shape than it is right now. My whiteboard has to be very accurate before
I know,
let
I
it-
just, I disagree in as much as it's simply cutting off circulation and access. So I think what you've done is enough to make a case. Like, so my suggestion and thoughts, and you can CC me on an email if you send it, would be to reach out to Benue and Campen, who is the city councilor on the Somerville Redevelopment Authority,
Yeah,
and Matt McLaughlin. And if you want a
Benue.
little boost, you could also CC Holly Simeone, who is running for city councilor, who is the head of the Disability Commission. So things like this are important to her.
okay.
I just think and Vanessa is, I think Vanessa, you'll probably bring information back at the next meeting, as well. But it just, I think the changes that are being proposed from what I hear from you, and not having really heard much about this space since after the lawsuit, that this is worthy of having the city council know about it so they can discuss it. So they then
Yes,
they can send it to committee. So I would suggest
yes.
asking this to be an agenda item. Like the work you've done
Okay.
is phenomenal. Like, it's
Thank you.
yeah.
As long as my dollar value is right.
That can be fixed, but I'm just saying
Okay.
you put in the work. So I
Yeah.
think
Okay.
you can CC me, and perhaps I'm not going to volunteer anybody, but definitely you can put me on it.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I appreciate that I had planned to send it to city councilors, but I'm appreciate the encouragement.
Great. Thanks for bringing that, giving us an update on that project. And yeah, keep those folks in the loop, and we'll support you however we can.
Thanks.
All right, so I wanted to open it up to other folks joining us today. Either Alyssa, do you have any resident concerns or just want to say hi?
Trying to get more of an understanding of green stuff going on in Somerville.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. And then I also see Jacqueline. If you'd like to say hi or introduce yourself, you're welcome to, but no pressure. And if something comes up later, feel free to chime in. And then I see Allie. Do you have a resident concern?
Yeah, I did. And I don't want to take too much of the meeting, but I was noticing as I was walking by the Lowell Street Bridge that there's Japanese knotweed coming out of the bridge, and that can devastate infrastructure. Like I've heard so much so that if you had a home that had Japanese knotweed and an insurance company found out about it, they could just cancel your insurance because it's like a lost cause. So it kind of terrifies me because that bridge is a pedestrian bridge. It's a bike bridge. It is a car bridge, and it connects to like the train station. So I feel like we really need to like get rid of it in the appropriate manner. I think Japanese knotweed is very similar to like tree of heaven, where you have to attack it with herbicide, the right time. I know I spent a lot of time researching tree of heaven to get like, very knowledgeable on that particular species. And now we have like a guide that we could use in our back pocket. And I don't know if we have something like that for Japanese knotweed, or like even who we could raise this with, like who has the authority to spread herbicide. But like that is so, and there's also tree of heaven coming out of that bridge too. But like it's not really necessarily like a tree thing, but I felt like it was something to bring up to the committee. Just because like if we lost that bridge, or if we did like structural damage to that bridge because we didn't act fast enough, it can be like so devastating for the city.
Are you talking about the underpass like behind the Star Market?
No, so it's by the Magoon train stop.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm trying to think who. It's probably DOT, but it's going the one that goes over the. I'm just trying to think whose jurisdiction, if it's DOT or MBTA. I think both organizations probably have capacity, or not capacity, but have the ability to do invasive species management. Sorry, yeah, two things. One is like we should figure out who owns it and flag it as like a whatever the equivalent of a 311 would be. I think that's probably one option. And then in terms
What?
of
Excuse me. No,
Yeah.
wait, excuse me. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No worries. I was just gonna say in terms of knotweed, I think that should be another. I can talk about it for many, many hours, so I don't want to take up too much space here, but I think it is a huge issue that is threatening a lot of things in our city and in our region. And I think we could develop a similar guide. But I think they're also, yeah, it's an overwhelming problem that as a landscape architect, I'm encountering on pretty much every single one of my projects.
Wow.
And it's a huge threat to our ecology. So like there's that. So those are my two thoughts as a starting place. But yeah, Anne?
Wasn't the Lowell Street Bridge recently redone, completely reconstructed?
I don't know. I've lived here 3 years. So it was
Well,
definitely been-
it would be before 3 years, but my I could be wrong. Do you remember, Vanessa?
I don't. I think it
I
was.
still
Lowell
had
Street
one
was shut
partially.
down for quite a while at one point, and I don't know. The construction, I seem to remember that Lowell Street construction was and the bridge was a big deal. But I could be wrong.
Well, I can certainly submit something to 311. I mean, that's going to take me like a minute, but is that going to be enough, or is that just going to go into like a log of lots of 311s and they may not get to it in time? Or
Is anyone aware of what the procedure is to contact DOT or the MBTA regarding an issue like this? I mean, there probably is some method, no? I don't know what it is, but I'm thinking there must be a way to contact them and let them know, because obviously, as stated, it's a major issue and problem that is going to impact them directly, financially, and in many other ways. So if it's not something that's on their radar currently as a policy, like they need to be thinking about that in the very near future, about how are they going to handle situations like this and more that are going to come their way.
Seen it coming out of the retaining walls in lots of places along the green line, so maybe it's an MBTA heads up, like we need to take care of this, people. I know the city has maintenance. We maintain plants along the old parts of the community path, the older parts. I think that would include Lowell, but nothing within near the tracks. I'm not sure exactly where you saw it. If it's at part of the community path section or different, like on the track side, but MBTA would be the track side. If it's something that the city would maintain, we've got challenges in that our policy is not to use herbicides because of the ecological impact, and recognizing that, plants like Japanese knotweed we can't really get rid of it, manage it barely with herbicides, let alone any other way. So it's sort of a stuck between a rock and a hard place situation for city maintenance.
Okay, so if we're looking at this map, you see how it says Lowell 1, 2, 3 times? It's kind of where the L is yep, and then scroll down to where the yellow line is. So it's like kind of, but it's back touching almost the bridge. So down, yeah, where you just were down. Like it's in this patch right there where that arrow is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's MBTA. I'm not totally sure.
Can MBTA use herbicide or go after Japanese knotweed?
They do use herbicide.
Okay.
So probably.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll try to lodge a complaint with them.
I have a thought, and need confirmation. It would make sense to me, Allie, if you could spend a few moments just coming up with some language and that we put it on our we can vote on it, you know, in an hour or whatever and put it on
Okay.
our letterhead. And
Okay,
then,
okay.
and this is my suggestion, I need confirmation, like, and then send it to like Brad Rawson and send it to 311 and just send it out to be like, we noticed this, we don't know who to send it to, but look at us and our logo and this is what we do, write memos, right? Or does that make sense to people? And then we can just kind of, so it's not just you yourself reaching
Yeah.
out, but even if it's just 4 or 5 sentences or exactly what you said, how do other
Okay.
folks feel about that?
Yeah, as a committee, like formally registering our concern.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for taking so much time on that. I'll work on that right now.
Bringing it up. Actually, I was thinking about that when we were putting together the Tree of Heaven. I was like, this is going to be one of many. All right. Any other resident concerns?
I was going to say, I've been wondering if the MBTA or DOT has any plans for this area in general, because it just seems like an underused kind of corner next to the bridge where there is like green space or the opportunity for more tree planting, maybe.
You have some ideas for tree planting nearby that I will discuss during the fall planting agenda item, but it does not include that particular little corner that I'm not sure who owns or maintains but yeah, it could use some more love for sure.
This is reminding me of a whole email exchange that both Allie and I were part of, and that I think is relevant to just bring up here because one of the points that were raised in that particular email exchange that we were both part of is it safe to plant trees around the green line? And apparently the MBTA is quite allergic to trees anywhere near, even though there are actually trees all along rail lines all over the country and all over the world. And I was just wondering, Vanessa, if you could give us for a second, like, what do you know about the MBTA's aversion to trees and how legitimate is it, like, and is there space for pushing back on their aversion to trees and using more green space?
My understanding is that they don't allow trees to be planted within 30 feet of the tracks or the high energy lines. I forget what they're called right now, but catenary, I feel like maybe. And like there were a bunch of trees there before, but they were invasive. They weren't like planted on purpose. So there's a difference between doing something intentionally and having nature do its thing. Or nature / invasive species. Their aversion is because they're concerned for track safety, probably partially for fires, for high energy systems. And they're worried about branches falling on tracks, and also leaves can make it really slippery when the leaves get on there and it's wet. So they're worried about derailing and fire, is my understanding. There are very few portions of the new community path that are plantable for trees and are more than 30 feet away. So that's why the new part of the path is so untreed and is likely to stay that way. So that's the sad truth.
Isn't there that, like, not all trees are the same, and like there is a gigantic fence, and there's all like, so there has the city just conceded that like no kind of upright vegetation over 6 feet or something will be allowed to grow anywhere within 30 feet of the green line?
I know that we pushed many times and asked many times in many different ways, and the answer was always no. There is a maintenance agreement and like coordination between the city and the MBTA that's ongoing, and I think it's going to be wrapping up soon, but I don't know the details of that legal agreement and what exactly it says about vegetation, but I know that I mention it every time, Viola mentions it every time, like people are asking and continually getting no, and MBTA has jurisdiction over that portion, so they have the right, unfortunately, to say no.
I'm seeing in the chat folks posting that shrubs and pollinator gardens
Mhm.
are good
Mhm.
alternatives. So I know there's the sort of pilot project that I think we learned about pretty recently in a similar, so I think right off screen to what I'm showing now. And I know we had a presentation, or we have a contact at the MBTA who's the director of sustainability or some title similar to that. And I believe he came, it might be a few years ago now, but we probably have the presentation that he shared with us about some plans. If someone else has better memory, feel free to chime in. But I know we have a conduit to a person
Mhm.
who may be able to give us some optimistic news on this, but I know it's been a topic of conversation with our group for a while now.
Well, on our side, Estello has been working on a policy for Community Path to have like art and plant installations. So there's stuff in the works about what can be permitted in different places of the path and what the process is. It's not, I haven't seen it. It's not ready to share yet, but there is work ongoing.
Who's producing that?
Estello he came last time. He's from Public Basin Urban Forestry Division.
Can you text me the name just so I can put it in? Because I
Oh,
don't.
sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm the notes taker. That's why
Yeah,
I
I
care so
forgot.
much about all these
Okay.
details.
Okay. Yes, absolutely.
If I can add, I do believe at some point the GLX that this part that this corridor, I believe, is handed off to the city, or at least along the bike path, even though, like, let's say right now it's, I don't know if it's still, parts of it are still under GLX jurisdiction, but there is a handoff once GLX walks away. That's my understanding.
Yeah, there's an agreement that's in progress.
Okay.
I don't think it's finalized yet.
Yeah. And I 15 feet or 12 feet is in my memory of like no more, nothing taller than like that, that number sticks in my head. So people can't hide behind it was a direct quote from a GLX person on why we can't have trees. I think he was struggling during that meeting. Anyway.
All right. Any last comments on this one? I think we should move towards our agenda items where we start to optimistically address some of these big problems that we've been talking about. Any last thoughts? Let me shift to the agenda here.
I will note just quickly on that last MBTA stuff. I've recently sent an email in highlighting some ailanthus trees along the MBTA rail line that's the community's sending in. No response, but just worth noting, I guess.
Thank you.
That's great. All right, so moving on from resident concerns, bioswale maintenance, Somerville Ave. I think this was Tori, did you?
Yeah, I just put these on here and it's pretty straightforward. The question is, okay, who maintains them now? How do we have in-house knowledge on someone who can take care of these, and this person, I guess, well, first of all, doesn't have the time to do it, but when this is the gardener, Rachel Lake, when she can, she goes and tries to take care of ones, but certain ones she can't. So I guess the general question, which ones are under contract? How often do they get worked on? And what do we do about the ones that are no longer under contract? So those are the questions I bet Vanessa has answers.
I sure do. All right. So Somerville Ave bioswale maintenance. This is the Somerville Avenue by Union Square, where there's various bioswales, sort of from Target towards Union Square. That project completed a few years ago and is no longer under contract maintenance. So it was turned over to the city to maintain. Things like that don't really have a clear home because it's sort of a transition between the highway department and grounds, but I believe because they're more complicated plantings, it's probably under grounds' jurisdiction to maintain them. They don't have the capacity to do that, but the good news is there is a IFB, so an invitation for bids for green stormwater infrastructure maintenance that is currently out. So responses are due, today. Interesting. I wonder who won. And that includes the maintenance of all types of green stormwater in the city. So ranging from bioswales, these particular bioswales, to different tree trenches throughout the city. I don't know exactly where off the top of my head, but there are some, even the permeable pavement that they put around some of the trees, like on Medford Street, which require regular maintenance, like vacuuming out and such. So there's going to be a contract where these will be maintained. So they should go back to not looking quite so messy. And from a quick read of the bid documents, the maintenance for places like this include weeding and also infill planting, potentially, if a bunch of weeds get removed, being able to plant stuff back. And there is a requirement that a horticulturalist has to be doing the work. So hopefully someone good won or is winning, or we got some good bids. I don't know the answer to that. So that covers the Somerville Ave bioswales. The next agenda item was the Summer Street bioswales. So those are part of the Spring Hill Sewer Separation Project, which includes various streets in Spring Hill. And that project is in punch list now. So most of the work has been complete, but there are some items that are still pending. And then there's at least 1 year maintenance period of those. So those are still under contract. We did a walkthrough, a bunch of people a month-ish ago. David and I were looking at the trees, and Ben came by for the bioswales, and someone then from the subcontractor who does the work on the plantings was there and saw a bunch of weeds in a bunch of the planters, and identified that is happening and is supposed to be weeding them. So we can't touch those for now. The contractor has to do it.
I will say the contractor has not done it. Can I
Yeah.
share a couple photos? And I be very quick about this, I promise.
Fine by me.
Do you mind? I don't know. Can I see it? Let's just see. I'll put it on slideshow. Okay. So this is just so this is what's going on. So these are unintentional grasses. You see down here, there are some sedges. There are some like little asters here. So this is a growing season. And sorry, this is a growing season. So we're really gonna need, like, right now, everything underneath would be having access to sunlight. And so that it's so important, especially these foxtails. Again, you see the aster underneath. And then there's some Pennsylvania sedge in here. And so yeah, how do we just say this needs to be done like yesterday? But then look, pretty, yay, it's not all doom and gloom. Good job. Good job. So
Yeah, if you go back 2
Oops.
photos,
yeah.
or I was just gonna, a recent lesson learned for me is the one that looks like a sedge with the big tufts is, I believe, called nuttall grass.
Nut sedge?
Nut sedge, yeah. And it's, from what I've learned, pretty tough to get rid of.
This
It
one
has, yep, that one.
here.
It's also allelopathic, which means it sends out toxins into the soil around its roots and makes it harder for other plants to grow. So yeah, I've been seeing that in some of the biospheres as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a tough one because it looks like something we want. Like, I think it's rather beautiful.
Yeah, me too.
But it is unfortunately not something, and it's one of the ones that if you break off, if you don't get all the nodes, which tend to go down 5 feet, it will not go away.
Mhm.
And in my initial research, it is also not receptive to herbicides. So
Oh, no.
cool stuff, y'all.
Yeah.
I know
Um,
that the contractor was like, oh, no, that's not, whatever you said. I want to say nut sedge. Is that what you said? So he knew it and knew he
Sweet.
needed to get rid of it. I don't know if
Yep.
they've come back to do anything. If these pictures are recent, then they have
Yeah.
not.
This is
Yeah,
2
it's
nights
definitely,
ago.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This is Tuesday
so
night.
They have not come
So-
back yet.
Yeah, not great
Sorry,
pictures.
is it the really tall one?
No, not the photo on the
No,
left.
no.
It's the
It's
photo on the
like-
right that looks like little fireworks.
Yeah.
Oh, they look like little foxtail things? Or
The
No.
foxtails are different. They're
they're different?
they're the ones that have the plume. Yeah. Good job, Vanessa. It's like almost like these little stars at the end of the stems of this sedge. Really cool looking. It does pull out easy, but now, Leah, that you're saying that it's
Yeah.
you leave a little piece, which is the knowledge of so many invasive that pull out easy because
Yep.
you're not getting all of it. So I guess my question is, can we call somebody like next week or tonight or send an email? And by we, Vanessa, I'm saying you or PSUF to be like, get on these because like there are still plants that are about to bloom and
Sure.
we don't want these things seeding in.
I can send that. I don't know if it will do anything, but I'm happy to send it.
Yeah, for what it's worth, we had a similar thing happen at the West Branch. It was under contract, it wasn't weeded, and then the weeds literally choked out about 2/3 of the native plantings, and so all the money we spent on plants was wasted because they're all dead.
Yes. Vanessa, would it be helpful if I share this document? It's not a full.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks.
And they're all on Summer Street.
No, they're all in different places. I'll go through
Okay.
my phone.
If you
The
know
phone
where,
has
then
the-
I can be like here, here, and here.
Here, and here. Okay.
I know on School Street, all the plant beds on School Street have them
Yeah.
as well.
That's true. It's pretty much all the places. Like someone just needs to walk. It's not a long walk. Just,
Mhm.
some of these I'm like, I could probably do that in less than 10 minutes. Like, so I guess my ask, and I'll share pictures, but my ask was check on the plants.
Okay.
And I mean, there can't be more than 24, I think, between Summer and the other ones along the branching off of Summer. Anyway, that's my thought.
On a more positive note, I just want to say that I love those new bioswales on summer.
Some of them are doing good.
I hope they get loved. Because yeah, the ones on Somerville Avenue show how something can go completely to crap.
Mhm. All right. Should we shift to updates from the city? So city tree removals and upcoming hearings.
And
Yes,
this-
hey everyone. I will share my screen. So it's my understanding that we don't have any upcoming public hearings, which is good.
I forgot to take that off the agenda. Sorry.
No, it's all right. For a second, I was like, oh no. Okay, we'll just share one at a time here. I'm working screen. Right, everybody see that all right?
Yeah.
Great. All right, so not an elaborate list this month. I'm gonna start with, let's see, we're at 5:40. So I'll send everybody a spreadsheet this month and with some lists of what's going on so you all can look at this yourself. I'll get that to you next week. But a couple trees worth noting, and then I'll go through. Most of these are long dead, but we do have one, 3 Morgan Street, that is a 50% ownership. Um, can everybody see my pictures when I put them up?
Not
Yes.
seeing the pictures.
Oh, okay. So when it gave me the option to share my pictures, they aren't, these pictures are on Somerville tree layer, but I am doing this in, okay, well, let's look at the Somerville smart tree layer and then maybe I can switch over. But so this is a view of an ailanthus tree that is on 3 Morgan Street. The constituent has requested that we do something about it. It's blasting through their fence. It's an ailanthus tree, and this is a great picture. This is fine. These aren't the most current, but more of the same. And I have approved this to be removed, one, because it's an ailanthus tree, and it is doing significant damage to, so it's 50% theirs, 50% ours. We're going to move forward with having our contractors remove it for them, and they're going to take care of the stump. I am going to use the hack and squirt method before removing this. So this will be ideally stop dead in its tracks. That is
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
yeah, well, it's yeah, hefty tree, not normally a canopy we would consider taking out, but
So who's going to actually apply the herbicide
I
for the
am.
hack and squirt and then for the stump?
I am.
Okay. That allowed then? Because Vanessa mentioned the city was not allowed to do that.
We're doing
Yeah.
we're allowing it for this.
Interesting. Is there something we could do to make that more allowable? Like, is
I
that a
think
law or like what's
it's
the
not
restriction?
technically a law, it's a policy because of many prior discussions to not use herbicides like in fields and whatnot. So we're thinking about it from an environmental perspective and doing it on a case-by-case basis based on our understanding for this particular nuisance species. So, yeah, David is certified to do pesticide applications. So we have this sort of special time we can use it on Tree of Heaven, but don't want to say like we can blanket use herbicide now.
That sounds really prudent and reasonable.
Knowing from experience having something like that around, it gets tempting for anybody to grab if they have nuisance things. So
Mhm.
being really tight-fisted with the ability to use it is good. So that's 3 Morgan Street. 10 Carlton Street is it down by Union Square. This is a sugar maple, unfortunately. We have our contractors coming through to prune. I'm not sure if this is the most recent, but it is this side of the tree on the back side is dead and needs to have the dead wood removed. This isn't a current picture. Maybe my pictures are up there. The other half of it that is, none of my pictures are here. Well, I've been in contact with Tree Keeper about some of my pictures not staying uploaded, but this is probably operator error. So we have to prune this out of the wires, away from the wires. It's been pruned away from the wires, actually. It's quite a ways away from the primaries, but there's just this little tuft of tree left. And that healthy part has to get pruned away, so there's not going to be a viable canopy here. And it is wrong tree, wrong spot. Fortunately, it's a sugar maple, but we are going to be able to plant right across the street. And my zoom bar is getting in the way of things. Columbus Ave, we talked about at a previous meeting. Grand Union Boulevard, just going to give small pictures here. But tiny little tree. Going to go fast on these ones so we can give people more time. Harold Street. Harold Street is a severely declined canopy falling apart on people. Contractors will take care of that. Loring Street does have some leaves on it, but we have our contractors coming through. I think we're just going to remove this and replant, as it's not a significant canopy adding to our city. Morgan Street, we talked about. Parkdale. Parkdale is a completely dead canopy. So that will also be removed. Sorry if I'm moving fast, but last time we ran out of time. Park Street has a tree, a pear tree that is it's got some significant structural damage and loss of integrity there. The canopy has some life in it. I'd say it's probably lost about 60 to 70% of its canopy, but it's dying back. We have our contractors coming through. It needs to be pruned. I think it's prudent that we just remove it. It is a highly trafficked area. Prospect is a dead tree. Another tree on Prospect is a completely dead tree. I know it looks like there's a little bit of canopy behind it, but don't be fooled. There is not. And Union Square, there is a pear tree that we should just remove this pear tree and replant. It's right on the corner of, I think, Bow Street there. So, and this canopy is better than it looks now. So, no public tree hearing. Those are the removals, and that is my time.
Great. Thank you so much. Getting efficient here. Next up, private tree removals.
Leah, I had a quick question on, I saw a tree came down on Summit Ave last week. It was a big calorie pair. I think it was an emergent situation. Did you see
Yeah, I
that,
can speak. I
David?
can speak to that. We did go over that one. Forgive me if it was brief or not covered well.
Oh, it
So
was last time.
Summit had a tree that had the most recent failure came down on someone's car. It was I forget what size it was, but a decent sized pear
It was,
tree that had been wide pruned. At least two significant failures, and so we approved that for
Okay.
removal. So
Thank you.
And then Vanessa, do you want to share or do you want me to share?
I forgot to get it up. If you have it up, you can share, otherwise I'll
Yeah,
get it up.
I can do that.
I know Malik's here. Malik, do you want to talk about private trees or you don't need to?
Absolutely. So Let's see, where did we leave off? Okay. Most tree removal permits are pending currently. Um, and they're mostly small. There's a couple of violation cases and a few gray area stuff that needs to be worked through. So let's see, where did we go through last time? So Grant Street still incomplete and pending. Um, Sycamore Street
Sorry, are
was
you on permit applications or?
Oh, I'm on permit applications.
Okay, sorry, let me catch up so that I'm looking at the right thing.
Alrighty. Oh yeah, because I'm no longer looking at the screen here. Okay. You ready?
Thanks. Oh yeah, Grant Street. We're here. Thank you.
All right, Grant Street. Um, I'm still waiting on their materials. Sycamore Street was issued. Let's see, 259 Lowell Street is the big one. So it is, there's a total of 22 trees on the property, and 10 trees are proposed for removal. Um, and I'm heavily scrutinizing this project, even though we got a very detailed arborist report. I may or may not push back on the removal of 2 trees that may equal 30 dBH. They're both sweet gums, but they may be too close to the property and imposing on it quite a bit. So it's still under review, but for the most part, it's a lot of trees that are being removed here. 10 trees proposed for removal. Let's see. They're gonna mitigate for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of them are gonna be mitigated. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 are below 8 inches. Like they're all like 6, 7 dBH, which is kind of sad because it adds up to 60 dBHs that are just going to be lost because they're undersized exempt. For the most part, they should be planting 23 trees at 3 inches diameter, and it should be 69 inches. So I'm gonna continue to scrutinize this report here and probably push back on 1 or 2 trees, but for the most part, it's pretty solid what I've gotten. And the reasons for removal are quite reasonable. So that's the meat and potatoes of that one. Let's see. And for all the rest, let's see, I just had a, a couple come in after sending violation letters. So 59 Pearson is a violation correction. So I'll be processing that. And then 60 Albion was a very strange case, whereas there's a neighbor dispute on a shared tree and it's a multi-leader tree. So what the one property owner did is they removed an entire leader. And now the question is, did it destabilize the tree or do the other one want to save it? And then it's just 3 property owners involved in this whole thing. So what I did is I charged one person with the removal of the tree because they technically removed a tree that wasn't all theirs. So I did that just to get attention. And now I'm just gonna make sure they all talk to each other and figure out the best thing for that. Um, it's convoluted and messy, but that's how these things go sometimes. So we'll work through that and I'll report on that next month. Spring Hill Terrace, I just issued today. 3 trees are proposed for removal, 2 significant, 1 undersized. They had a decent arborist report and everything looks good. And as of September, I'm looking at some of these permit applications, and this is the time in which we'll start charging the $60 per inch for the healthy trees, but it has to be, you know, homeowner occupied and they're removing healthy trees. Not this tree is impacting my foundation or this tree is half dead but I have yet to come across one of these cases, but yeah, we'll see how that goes and see how much money we could bring in for trees. Any problems, questions, concerns?
So the 259 Lowell, I just
Mhm.
looked, I was like, how big is that property to have so many trees?
It's a sizable property, so let me see. It is, I think it's a retirement
Yeah,
home.
it's the Visiting Nurses Association.
Yes, it's an affordable senior living community at 259 Lowell. They're going to renovate the property and ensure that the ongoing safety and comfort for the residents is prioritized. So, yeah, it's a huge property.
Uh,
So hopefully the replantings work out quite nicely.
uh,
So see what, oh, on their planting schedule, they have, let's see, 6 red maple, 1 ginkgo, 1 hackberry. Oh, 4 English oak, uh, 1 Perodia, 2 I never red baron apple trees, crab apples, and then 8 sweet gum. I like sweet gum.
Sweet gum's great. I don't know if it's one of those columnar tree variations of
Un
it.
un Unfortunately, they have a lot of problems with their trees conflicting, so it is the slender silhouette,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Um, it's
Right.
not the worst columnar sweet gum I've seen. I've seen really crappy looking columnar ones that are just like a beanpole. But I digress.
Malik, since they're asking something of you, and since can we just please don't plant English oaks? Can we just ask them not? Can we just make it a native species? Like, please no ginkgo biloba. Put in a service berry. Can that be the sort of compromise if some of
I
them are
don't think
like
we could. I don't have any say over the species they plant.
you have all the
Um
charm, Malik. So much charm.
I could throw in that native species are preferred if it's too if it's early in the sourcing selection. But yeah. But I can't force anything. I will
No,
just
I know.
spread knowledge, right?
Yeah, spread knowledge. And I have a feeling there are people who would probably want to do the right thing. They have a lot of river birches out there. And I think a lot of this is like, oh, landscape architects get, you know, have their own preferences, but a simple ask like this, especially even though you have no necessarily power to ask somebody to do something, you might be pushing back a little on some of their requests. So just having them sweeten the deal. Again, I trust you, and that would
Yeah.
be the unofficial ask. I guess I would ask my fellow committee members to support me in a gentle ask by Malik if you feel comfortable encouraging native species.
I think
Yeah.
often in this situation, we also can share our recommended species
Species
planting
list.
list. And
Yeah.
that can be a great way to provide education and encouragement and enthusiasm for our native oaks rather than our non-native oaks.
So I'll slide it in effortlessly and say, just please let me know if any of your species change for whatever reason, and then I'll just slide in the species list and say these are Somerville's preferred species list. Call it a day.
Super duper.
Yep.
Great.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we got through this list, and looking at the time, we still have some more things to get through. So let's jump in. Ongoing work updates. So outreach, I know we have summer streets coming up.
I did reach out to folks about summer streets and only heard that Dorothy was maybe available. So I guess no
Oh,
one's
no.
available. So I haven't signed up for a table unless we magically have people available.
Is anyone on this call didn't receive that email?
I don't remember getting it, but when is it?
October something.
I
It's in
think
the
it's like
minutes.
18, 19.
Yeah.
Upcoming events, October 19th.
I could
This would be
potentially
you.
do something, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I can do it. I didn't see an email from you, and I'm trying to look right now.
I
So
sent it to what I thought was the outreach subcommittee, but I'm realizing that it must not have been complete because I don't see. Yeah, Marion and Tori, you were not on it.
I'm available too. I'd like to go.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
Great.
it's so fun. So fun.
Who was that last person who spoke?
Suzanne.
Suzanne.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have at least 3 people on the call plus probably Dorothy, so that should be enough. Yay.
Yeah.
That seems great. Thanks, y'all.
Yay.
Okay, I will sign up for a table and share information as it comes.
Great. And then I think we missed the other one that I brought up last time. Or
Yeah,
might
it
be
was
like-
last weekend.
Okay. Oh, well.
Yeah.
All right, Tori.
Yeah, there's another event coming up that's Honk, and
yeah.
there are groups of us. We're marching under it's the Somerville Growing Center, Green and Open Somerville, Depave the Way, Garden Club, a whole bunch of different green folks in the city. And it's like a Heal the Earth theme. And we're going to have a banner with all of the participating groups, their logos on it. And I said, hey, I'll ask the Urban Forestry if we if they're interested, and if it's not any sort of conflict. I mean, we're the city of Somerville. We're kind of like Somerville City adjacent, and so the idea is people are going to dress up as invasive species and pollinators, and it's we're going to be handing out milkweed. So that's the kind of thing we'll be doing. And I need to get permission. They need to send it out the 1st of October, the banner. So I guess I'm just asking, first of all, anyone who would like to participate, let me know. And then can we use the logo? I'd need permission from, I guess, all of us. So in an unofficial way, I move that we allow the Urban Forestry Committee to have its logo used as part of this parade group. And I'm trying to find more information, like
Sounds great to me. Are there
Yeah.
any legal concerns?
I don't think so. To put it on a honk banner, I think it should be fine.
Yeah, it's just on the banner of all the groups that are marching in that day. And
And those are all groups that we have collaborated with and worked with. So I think it shows
yep.
a
And
lot of
and
our
former
goals.
UFC members, Earthwise Aware is going to be there. Myra's going to be there.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
When is Honk?
Honk is the Indigenous Peoples Weekend. It's a whole
Okay.
weekend. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday's the parade. It marches from Davis Square all the way to Harvard Square. And I imagine groups will be on Saturday in Davis Square. It's this whole, Honk is they're bands that are based in activism. So you hear all those brass bands, and it's about using music towards getting people excited and involved. So Earth for All is the theme.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great event, and it sounds like it would be awesome for the Urban Forestry Committee to have some representation.
Okay. Vanessa, I'll talk with you offline to get the logo or.
Oh, yeah, sure. Should
Yeah.
should we vote since it's a
Oh,
committee thing?
yes,
Gonna be
probably vote.
printed? Great. Tori, do you make a motion?
I make a motion.
Great. I'll second it. And
Okay.
then I'll do a roll call vote
Okay.
in maybe alphabetical order.
Mhm.
David is a voting member. David.
Agree?
Michael.
Agree.
Suzanne.
Agree.
Marion.
Agree.
Myself, agree. And Rob and Ally, you can enthusiastically support without officially voting.
I do.
Great. Thanks,
Yeah,
Tori. That's
I
very
also
exciting.
agree. I agree.
Oh, sorry, Vanessa. Oh my gosh.
I agree.
And Tori.
All right. Thank you. Awesome.
And will you take photos or share photos afterwards?
Absolutely.
I'm very sad I'm not going to be at Honk this year.
Okay.
Okay. Any other outreach?
I have another
Items?
event I just heard about. Groundwork
Sweet.
Somerville is having a harvest festival on October 4th, celebrating their 25th anniversary of being. And they're having a tabling event too. So I don't know if we want to have a table or if people just want to go, maybe, but I can share the flyer. It's Saturday, October 4th from 12 to 4.
Promise I'll be back to tabling and engagement in November.
I could potentially table if someone wanted to join in the efforts. If not, it also might be nice just to enjoy it.
And this is Saturday the 4th.
Yeah.
Do you have sorry, did you say the time for that?
12 to 4.
I could at least do a couple hours there.
I'll let them know, and you and Tori can figure out timing and stuff like that. Great.
Would you mind forwarding us like the information or
Yeah, that
do you
too.
want one of
That'll
us?
be
Okay,
helpful. Sure. Absolutely.
sure. Thanks.
I'll share it with everyone too.
Great. Any other upcoming events? I know we were going to try and get, this is also on my court, I think, getting our Most Wanted Weeds poster updated by Summer Streets. I think we were just trying to figure out the attributions for the photos, but I think we like conditionally approved it. I'll have to go back in the notes. Did we?
We didn't vote on it yet. 'Cause we
Okay.
didn't have much time to go through it. I did get access to it from Kala. So was it just me or did she give it to you too?
I think she gave it to me as well.
Okay.
But I don't think I can log in on this computer.
Oh,
See
I
my
feel like
password elsewhere.
we haven't looked at it carefully for a while, so I was thinking it might be useful to have a thorough review before we get it
Approved.
printed. Yeah,
Yep.
approved. So I'm not sure that we will make it for summer streets, but I can share like a PDF and people can mark it up by the next meeting.
Great.
Great. I also submitted the champion tree list. Is that something we could also try to review before the next meeting and see if people are open to approving and publishing that? That was the list of the biggest trees by species around the city.
I can definitely send that around. That sounds good.
Thank you.
Great. In light of time, I would recommend we review Allie's letter that she just dropped into the chat. And skip over our overview and startup question document. If that's all right with everybody, or do we want to get through the rest of the ongoing work updates and then come back to that? Got like 20 minutes left. I think we can make it. Oh wait, yeah, most wanted weeds we already covered. And then I think species selection and planting protocol is sort of same. Is supporting all these other projects at the moment. Then why don't we quickly look at job openings, and then we'll shift to Allie's letter, if that sounds good. So yeah, typically Michael as a newly minted co-chair, this is one that we'll trade off on. So whoever is chairing, the opposite person will look up if there's any interesting job postings or RFPs. No worries if we didn't do that today.
While you're pulling it up, I can tell you about two that I
Oh,
hope are
sweet.
posted, but our tree crew is down to one person,
Oh, no.
unfortunately. So we have a foreman position, and we have had for a very long time one of the non-foreman positions open. I don't know if it's posted again. Oh, there.
Foreman
I
tree surgeon.
guess only the foreman is posted right now, but there is another vacancy as well.
Do you know if there's been any change to either qualifications or compensation since it was
Um,
last posted?
The duties are the same as last time. We had already added in a fair amount of tree specific knowledge requirements. The compensation has been updated based on the updated union contract. So it is what our last foreman, Jason, was making, I believe, but not more than that, but more than when it was posted last time.
Hopefully that helps a bit, but I guess it's time for us all to go become tree surgeons.
Seriously, guys, what are you
demand.
doing?
All right, well, you can think about if they know anybody or people who want to project manage large infrastructure improvement projects. And then scrolling fast, but I don't see.
From my own knowledge, Leah, do you normally have to go beyond just looking in the works section? Could relevant jobs appear in others?
I typically scan it all,
Yeah.
just to see if there's anything interesting. Sometimes it'll be in public space. Well, Vanessa will probably know about public space urban forestry ones, but that would be further down.
Mhm.
And then always just thinking creatively about how we might know other folks who are in, peripheral
Mm.
fields. All right, and then we'll also quickly scan the,
I pulled it up if you want me to do it.
oh, sweet. We scan RFPs and open bids to be aware of upcoming projects, and other ways that we can be involved.
Pool maintenance. Um,
Sewer bricks.
oh, this one. Nunziato, the Nunziato project we'd heard about last meeting.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, we heard about Quincy Street. It's linked
Yeah.
together. Nunziato's water fountains, and Quincy Street. So that is out. The green stormwater infrastructure I mentioned. Oh, I don't know what I was looking at before, but it closes on the 23rd. All it's open right now. If we have time at the end too, Leah, we skipped over fall planting, so we can circle
Oh,
back.
shoot, sorry. All right. Let's quickly review Ally's letter and then we'll do fall planting. Let me see.
Wow, Ally, how'd you do that during
Yeah,
this
I'm also
meeting?
very
Oh,
impressed.
gosh.
And share. I'll just give everyone a moment to read.
There's no like carrot or stick that we have as a city for corporate property owners who have invasives all over their property. Correct?
Good question.
There is something in our zoning code about not having invasive species on your property, but I think it only applies to like new developments. So
Okay, there's like a giant lot near my area of Davis Square that's like N-Star building or something, and it's just a giant field of knotweed, and it makes me so sad. Like I would go over weekly and tear it down myself if it weren't fenced off, but it's fenced. Like it could be an amazing pollinator habitat. It could be amazing Miyazaki forest, but like it's just a field of knotweed.
yeah.
I think bringing up what to do about vacant lots that are causing infrastructural damage to neighboring lots.
It's
is
spreading to
maybe
the
something
path. Like
to bring
we
up to the mayoral candidates.
Hmm. Fair enough.
I also have like a neighbor with Tree of Heaven, which is what got me so motivated on that one.
Yeah.
This is a perfect time to get commitments. Just saying, for those of us who are into politics, this is a good time to say, this is this issue. We would like for you to address it in the next term. So we have a lot of enthusiastic people who want to get endorsed. So
That's a really good point. I wonder if I
Yes.
reached out to Green Open Somerville if they would endorse if one of the candidates would like actually say, I would do X.
yes, be in touch because yeah, there's going to be a next step for that. And we want people to ask questions. What should we get commitments for? So
Cool.
definitely, absolutely. And that's to everyone. Just start thinking.
So with this letter, I didn't know if we wanted to recommend like the cutting it back. I'm just not, I don't feel like
I think
I'm
cutting
not
it back's
good
just
on
gonna
this.
put off the problem
I
for a
think that they
month.
need to like herbicide it.
Yeah.
And then maybe
So-
consider removal, but I'm not sure. So,
I'd say either cut it back weekly or pesticide.
so like, do we delete the option for?
They're not
For
gonna cut
cutting.
it back weekly. That's just
Nope.
not gonna happen.
So what, in my experience, cutting twice and then doing an herbicide is what is recommended.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it for enough years to be like, yes, this is tried and true, but in my research and working with a few different companies who do this, you cut once in the spring, you cut once in the fall, and then apply the herbicide, and it's like a 1-2 punch approach. But I think as a committee, recommending professionals, assess and do the work might be the best approach, just so we, as a group, we probably need more time to like brush up on the best thing that we want to recommend. But in my experience, that's what most professionals have been recommending.
Well, maybe at the very least, we definitely take this option out.
Oh wait, I think that was the one I think is the most, I didn't read the whole thing.
Well, okay, sorry. So
Oh
bring it
wait,
back.
no, so the just cutting, sorry. I think,
Should we like combine it then? Or like
yeah, let me
combine it with
see.
the top herbicide application, cutting an herbicide, like combined cutting an herbicide application or something?
Yeah, I think that would be,
I can do this and track changes so we see what we're changing at the last minute.
I think that would be the best.
Cutting and subsequent. Let me take this up here.
Just thinking also, MBTA has a lot of land and a lot of herbicide treatment. They probably have a process already. Like this may be more
heard that.
information than they need.
Yeah.
Telling them that they have Japanese knotweed and that they should deal with it may be enough, not how to deal with it.
Okay, so take off the top tips for removal entirely.
Right. That's
I wouldn't
think they
delete it.
probably-
I would put it in a new document so we can come back to it
yeah.
and make a flyer.
Nice.
Because I'm really, sorry, Michael, go ahead.
Oh, I just love that idea. I put some notes in the chat on it might be helpful to like multi-thread by sending this to a couple other organizations who might have relevant jurisdiction.
Oh, okay, so not just to the MBTA, but like to the DOT maybe as well? Is that what you're?
Yeah, I think DOT and then the Department of Public Utilities has a rail transit safety division. So it just seems like some of them, especially because I think you mentioned there's like different kinds of like infrastructure right around this area.
Okay.
And if Ally, if you're sending this,
DOT.
also city council and whoever's Brad Rawson. Or I mean, I just feel like this should be everyone, like, we should all sort of be aware of this issue and it'll find the correct person. That's my opinion. But someone at the city and perhaps someone at the city council, that makes sense to me. At least then it's on record.
Okay. Could you put the names in the chat that you're recommending we also send this to? Let's see. Okay, good. Massachusetts Department of Public Utilities. Ah.
And I wonder if we do send it to a larger group, if there is a line we can add to say like, you know, this location, but there is also probably hundreds of others that are equally
The point. Yeah.
important and vital. And I wonder, like, it's good to raise it. But if they read it, it'd be good to be like, here and elsewhere, like, here's a great example of something you should tackle now and continue
Okay, like
on.
we're noticing Japanese knotweed pop up. Here's an example.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a little broader. Okay. See how fast.
I mean, I think it can still address this, you know, this location, but I wonder if we say,
Growing along the MBTA train lines as an example. We noticed it coming out of the bridge. Okay, how about that? So now it's a little broader.
I
Mhm.
actually would do it backwards. I think it's good to alarm them about a specific spot and say, and by the way, it's also growing in other parts, so you might want to look at other parts. But I think that, I just got explained to me the other day why we have such a terrible bike street crossing on the bike path on School Street. And it was, oh, because, any modification could change the weight of the bridge and like whatever, like they're all so sensitive. So like, okay, so you can't make even the slightest modification because it's terrifying. But the structural integrity of this bridge could be compromised by Japanese knotweed. That should put the fear of God in them, and maybe that's a good thing.
Okay, like additionally, it's likely that Japanese knotweed is growing in other areas along the bridge or surrounding infrastructure, something like that. Let me put that in here. Okay. The MBTA and surrounding infrastructure, compounding the issue. Okay. Is this how, I'm not sure how to address a letter to like 4 different bodies. Is this the way to do it at the top?
Honestly, if I were you, I would just copy paste into the email 4 times because you send it to 4 people. There's bystander effect and everyone's gonna say, hey, not my problem. Like
Okay.
other
Okay.
person can handle it.
Okay.
You could also
Fine.
address it to one and CC the other departments too.
I do think that's a good concern that like if you see other people copied, you might be able to point your finger and be like, that's probably their problem.
I don't have a strong view on this. I think sometimes more eyes can help because someone feels like they have to hold on it, but agree that if it's everyone's problem, it's no one's problem. So no strong opinion for me.
Yeah, that's true too. Because it would be hard to get this letter and like be the only person and not know what to do with it.
I'm also wondering, does anyone have a hard stop at 6:30? We are getting close to time and I want to make sure we, give this the time it needs, but also wrap up a few other items.
Well, Leia, like, would there be a chance to address it this year then? If you said you need to cut it in the
So-
spring, you need to cut it in the fall and then herbicide it?
Yeah, that was my other thought was we, like, a month or two ago was like the prime, like early September is like the ideal time to address it.
Mhm.
So I was just thinking if we've like kind of missed the mark for this year, and I wonder if we like double down. I think this was like a really amazing, everyone just like came together and you wrote this so quickly. But I wonder you know, recognizing this is a much bigger issue than this one spot and is going to be a multi-year effort. I wonder if we have a little bit more time to strategize and think about who we should send this to and when we should send this to them and how much, you know, guidance we should do. Because I think it's a huge issue, but I don't think, based on my limited knowledge, I don't think this will cause structural issue within like the year, for example. But I do think it's a huge issue that we should be vocal about. So I'm wondering if, in the interest of time today and the sort of sequence of where we're at in the year, unless others feel strongly about sort of sending it out.
I don't think it's too late. From my understanding, September is still like the month as a whole is still a pretty solid time, and it might be worth mentioning that is. But I don't know if we've already missed, but I think I don't think we have entirely. But then the other thing I was going to say is I would send this specifically to the MBTA and note that we're CCing these other folks. Because
Okay.
that makes it clear that it is under the MBTA's authority. But just so you know, we're embarrassing you with a bunch of other people.
I'm sure they feel no shame.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Well, okay, so should we try to send it out?
Folks feel motivated. I think typically with letters, we haven't submitted a memo in a while. Vanessa, is this a
We do have to
anyone can
vote on
send?
it.
We do
Anyone?
vote.
Yeah, I think the chairs usually send it.
We could always send this out and then have a follow-up letter up in the spring. And if we all notice any other spots, we could like add to it, and then it just becomes like,
Yeah. I mean, I think we can direct
like
them
we're not
to-
going to be silent about this. We're really worried
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, I think iteration is good as well. All right, so do folks feel like they've had enough time to sort of read the draft on the screen, enough that we're ready to send this out? And then I guess Michael and I would sign it, and then it would get sent from one of us, maybe? I don't want to like take agency out of other people's, I don't know.
Motion to approve, to support the sending of this letter by Leah and Michael.
Great, do we have a second?
Second. I
Great.
just have one tiny thing. There's a colon at the end of removal methods instead of a period.
Oh, good call.
Yes. Great.
All right, I'll run through a roll call vote. David,
In favor.
Michael,
In favor.
Suzanne,
In favor.
myself, yes. And I guess Marion and Vanessa and Tori.
Yes, for Vanessa.
And Tori, good, I see thumbs up. Great, so that is approved. Thank you for your super fast action on this, Allie. I think this is a great catalyst, and I think something we can continue to follow up on because it's not going away.
Well, thanks so much for taking it to the next step.
Yeah, so we can, do you want to email a version of this, and I will put the UFC, I'll put it on our memo letterhead and put it in our Google Drive, and then, yeah, we can decide who's the sender.
Okay, to
Good.
you and
Send it to
Michael.
me and
That makes
Michael
sense.
and Vanessa for good measure.
All right, I can do that.
Awesome.
And I assume if like anyone notices another typo, we could change that before we send it without that being a significant
I think
change
that
to
should
the vote.
be, I think that should be okay. Great.
Awesome.
All right, so I know we still had 2 more items to get through, which is fall planting and approving our previous meeting minutes. Vanessa, or do folks have time to stay on for, I think we can get through these 2 in a few minutes. Say extend to 6:40. Anyone have to leave that would break quorum? No? All right. All right, you want to run through fall tree planting?
Yeah, I'll be fast. In the spring, we planted a total of 165 trees, and we plant at least 350 trees per year. So this fall, I will be planting at least 185. A bunch of those will be with our contractor Wagon Wheel, but we are going to be doing another planting with volunteers event with the Mystic River Watershed Association that has a grant to plant some trees. It's looking like we'll be planting some trees at the East Somerville Library and along Great River Road and Assembly Square with corporate groups, but I'm hoping to plant 15 trees along the community path right about where we were looking. But on the other section, and I'm getting final approval from the MBTA to do this. It's sort of right in front of Maxwell's Green and then right by, like, on the opposite side of the walking down path from Lowell as the knotweed. So in that area, but closer to the VNA. So pending approval from the MBTA, I will be putting out a call for help planting those. And if it's not there, it will be somewhere else. So you will see from me an email to help with some fall planting. This probably it's bare root trees, so it'll be late October time. So that's my update.
Awesome. Any questions, thoughts, comments? We're moving rapidly, so I feel like next we also get a end of year update on all the planting, so that might be a good time to dive a little bit deeper.
Yeah. Great.
All right. And last thing is just approving the minutes from August 21st. So I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from August 21st. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. And then we'll do a roll call vote on those. So David again. I don't know if you have to also roll call if you second it. Yes, you do. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
David.
Yay.
Marion.
I abstained because I wasn't here.
Michael.
Yes.
Suzanne.
Yes.
Tori.
Hi.
Vanessa.
Yes.
And myself, Leah, yes. Great. So we approve those minutes. They can get uploaded to the website. And with that, I think we can wrap up our meeting. I will motion to end, and if we have a second, we can wrap it up for today.
Seconded.
Awesome. Thanks, Michael. And thanks everyone for joining us this evening. We will, we'll see each other next month.
Okay.
And thank you so much for everyone's hard work.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good
Bye.
one.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.